the National Assembly, Brigadier General Omar Khan, Mr. Clifton Hicken, Commissioner of the Police, Madam Chancellor of the Judiciary, Roxanne George, and then from the US Embassy, I'd also like to say hello to John Crippen, the Deputy Chief of Mission. Of course, almost as a Guyanese, I give a very warm welcome to the board of ExxonMobil, led by our chairman, Darren Woods, and to, thank you, and to a number of our executives, including the presidents of 4 of our global organizations. I bet you didn't know how many ExxonMobil people could be here in one room. Excellency, first and foremost, again, a happy Mashramani. This is truly a special day for the country. The color, the vibrancy, and excitement of this day is truly representative of what is unfolding here in Guyana. Mr. President, it is a privilege to be here in your presence, and I extend a heartfelt gratitude for you and the First Lady for welcoming us and hosting us here in the State House this evening. I had the good fortune to arrive here in 2020, just as you took up office. And I'm thankful that the collaboration between ExxonMobil and Guyana and the people of Guyana has only grown from strength to strength year after year since 2020. I'm excited indeed to continue strengthening that bond in the future. As I mentioned, today I'm accompanied by our corporation's board of directors, led by our chairman and chief executive officer, Darren Woods. And during this week's visit, they are eager to learn more about Guyana, witness the transformation that you are leading, and to visit the operations and meet the people running our business. Guyana's energy partner is more than a slogan to the people of ExxonMobil. It reflects our long-term commitment supporting your vision for sustainable development and shared prosperity. I would like to thank you and your government for your commitment to this partnership. Together we have achieved a great deal, and there is still so much potential ahead of us. We look forward to seeing the vision laid out by your government unfold and to exploring innovative ways to collaborate even more for the benefit of the Guyanese people. At this time, I would like to invite Darren to address you. Again, thank you, Your Excellency, and happy Republic Day.
Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you, Alistair. I appreciate your attempts to get applause for me, but we'll have to work on that a little bit, I think. President Ali, distinguished guests, I tell you, it is indeed a great honor to join you on this very important day as Guyana celebrates 56 years as a republic. But I will also tell you it is an even greater honor as we look forward to be part of an even stronger, more prosperous future for Guyana. Since our first discovery a little over 10 years ago, we've been committed to responsibly developing Guyana's oil and natural gas resources. But just as importantly, we've also been committed to ensuring that the oil and natural gas we're producing offshore creates opportunities for progress onshore. We share President Ali's ambition in developing these resources to transform Guyana's economy and bring enduring prosperity to its people. Education is central to this ambition and Guyana's development plans. That's why today I'm extremely pleased to announce the ExxonMobil Guyana STEM initiative, a $100 million US investment over the next decade to reinvent and strengthen education in science, technology, and math all across Guyana. STEM is the foundation for every modern society. These disciplines will help to power Guyana's success in the 21st century. Later this year, we'll launch comprehensive teacher training for secondary math and science education in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and the University of Guyana, building on a strong partnership that have supported education and workforce development for years. Additionally, we'll establish a nationwide network of student STEM centers, with the first starting in Georgetown at the University of Guyana, somewhere around 2028, 2029. These centers will provide hands-on STEM learning for teens and young adults across the country, and will mirror a successful model that President Ali visited in the States last year. Our goal is very simple: inspiring the next generation of Guyana's engineers and scientists by working with the students and the teachers who educate them. Over the next decade, the Guyana STEM Initiative will train thousands of educators and reach tens of thousands of students across the country, transforming Guyana's STEM talent pipeline and developing a new generation of engineers, scientists, and leaders ready to shape Guyana's future, and importantly, open doors to bigger and better opportunities for everyone. A little more than a decade ago, we discovered oil in the Stabroek Block. That discovery changed Guyana's future. In just 10 years, we've shown what is possible. I'm confident in the next decade we'll deliver even more, powered by the people of Guyana, built on a foundation of education, innovation, and the Guyana STEM Initiative. Thank you.
I don't know about high point, but we're at some point. Our dear Prime Minister, our dear Chancellor, members of Cabinet, the Speaker of the National Assembly, heads of the joint services, and of course the leaders in Exxon, members of the private sector, members of the legal community, all. It's just an honor to welcome all of you for what I would say not only is a welcoming dinner, but a Republic dinner. So we welcome you together as friends, partners, and a family on this beautiful evening. And I guess by now you're happy with the instructions you were given as to how you should dress for this occasion. Let me say from the onset that those of you who do not recognize Darren Woods, it's a shame. You know, whenever I go anywhere, people say, "You're the guy from the BBC interview." So when Darren go anywhere, they say, "You're the guy from Donald Trump meeting, right?" You know, Darren is the famous guy from that meeting, you know. So no one should be able not to recognize you, Darren. Don't get red, man. The Deputy Chief of Mission, you know, I want to say also to Darren and Alistair and Dan and the entire team that please don't stop inviting me, because I guess by now, every time you invite me, you know that there might be a request. But when we first met, as Alistair said, one of the first meeting, not one of, the very first meeting we had, I said to Alistair, we have to ensure the next generation of Guyanese and this generation that they are equipped with the necessary skills, they're equipped with the necessary training and knowledge to take Guyana forward, to advance Guyana forward, and to ensure that we have the human capacity and capability to do this. So we had to lay this out very early, and I see they're laying out your soup very early. I don't know what my protocol guys are doing, but I guess they're sleeping. Sleeping is not part of what Guyana should be doing at this moment. Sleeping is for a journey that we are not on. let me say that the purpose of that first engagement and that priority that we set ourselves, and that is the education agenda, the training agenda, is critically linked to the pathway we are deliberately taking in advancing our country forward. It's a pathway of innovation, education, and entrepreneurship. And that pathway is better designed when you have a well-equipped and well-trained workforce. And just imagine the next generation of Guyanese being equipped today to live in a world 2050 and beyond. Just imagine the competitive advantage of having the next generation of Guyanese being equipped today to live in a world 2050 and beyond. And that is the Guyana we are building. So that first conversation led to investment over $100 million in the Guyana Technical Training College in Berbice. And it's when you go there, and I hope the board members get a chance to go, but it's just amazing when you see what this center will do, not only for Guyana, but for this entire region. And knowing that we are just over 10 years in oil and gas, and we can have a training facility that is among the best in the world, I think that deserves a round of applause. And then, you know, some people very sillily ask questions about, you know, when the president visit. So this is the outcome of one such visit in Houston. $100 million coming back into our country, into our children's future. And I remember being invited just to tour the facility. And as we were going through that facility, Alistair was next to me, and I kept whispering to him, this is great. This is how you transform society. This is how you leapfrog society. This is the infrastructure and investment we must make. And I was just waiting for an opportune time to say to them, you're going to do this in Guyana. And you know, before we got out the last door, I was able to make that point. And again, because of the strong partnership we have with Exxon, because of this alignment of our vision, they were able to understand why we needed this and why they should invest in this. And I want to applaud Exxon to embrace that decision at such a rapid pace. You know, Exxon is not a small organization. You can imagine decision making, but when you convince the chair of the board, I think you have at least halfway the journey completed. And you know, just like you were convinced at that meeting, we are happy that we could have convinced you to bring this investment here. I'm happy too that the board has an opportunity to actually connect with what is happening in Guyana. It is difficult sometimes to understand what is taking place from a boardroom, but when you connect and when you feel and when you understand your partners, when you understand the relationship, and this is a demonstration of the strength of the trust in the relationship that we are building. And you have board members also who are great friends of Guyana in other aspects of our national development. One of your board members is sitting on CI board, and that board member has been very instrumental in working with us on the biodiversity initiative, the Global Biodiversity Alliance. Because at the end of this, well, this journey has no end, but in the course of this partnership, we want to showcase to the world a development in oil and gas that is strategic in every form. One that is balanced, one that takes the environment with it in its growth and development, one that celebrates the environment in which it operates in, one in which the transformational goals of the country is realized through the revenue from this sector, and that the sector grow out other aspects of the economy that are critical for our sustainability, which is climate services, environmental services, educational services, health services, technological services. I mean, we're operating on a technological backbone now that I would say, if someone would have asked a year ago, would we have been here? I would say no. But we were able to build a lot of this in-house. We have even created a special ministry. I'm looking for the minister. I know he's there. He's there. I was waiting to see which one of them said they were tired from the parade and did not turn up. Yes, we created a special ministry on efficiency and public service, government efficiency, just to propel this journey at even more rapid pace. I'm known to speak very long. I'm very sorry about that. But I want to say that this education agenda and this center that will be completed in 2028, I don't think there's much room to maneuver beyond 2028. Work would start a long time before that. And why did we choose the University of Guyana compound to do this? Because we want to elevate what STEM education is even for the younger children, so that they can be in a campus setting from a very young age. And then we have also the Ministry of Education will start a program of training the trainers and training the teachers. So when we say 2028 is for the first physical building to be completed, but the training of the trainers, the training of the teachers, the training of the facilitators, all of that would start almost instantaneously. And one of the things that they're going to do is train our teachers so that we can produce incredible results in mathematics in the secondary schools. That is part of this program. So the Minister of Education, I see, and the Chief Planning Officer, Ms. White and Sonia, they were invited specially to understand that this is a really great moment for the education sector. This is a great moment for our country and the innovators of tomorrow. So it is in this context that I want to say to our partners, Exxon, job well done. We look forward to this continued strength of partnership. We look forward for additional ways in which we'll express our partnership. We are already talking about ways in which we can devolve more opportunities for the local private sector, how we can look at different verticals in the whole Exxon ecosystem and see how we can include more of those services in the local private sector and the work that they're doing. So it's a lot of great opportunities ahead. It requires strong leadership. It requires focused leadership. It also requires trust. You cannot manage a sector like this if there is no trust. I want to make it very clear. And I am unapologetic about this. Exxon is our partners. And we have to work and confront the opportunities of the future as partners. There is no way we're separating ourselves from each other. This is a stable environment, Darren. Here is where the rule of law applies. And here is where your investment is safe, sound, and protected. And that is how it will always be. That is how it will always be. So we want to continue to build this trust, and no better way than to have the board, the entire structure, superstructure of Exxon here in country. And from what I've been told, this is one of your first out-of-country board meetings, maybe since just before the pandemic. And that is incredible that you choose Guyana, your priority investment destination. And we are remarkable. We find this not only remarkable, but that this is as a vote of confidence in the relationship and the trust that we have built over the years. We want to see more development, Darren. We want to see acceleration on gas, and we want to see acceleration at a similar pace as gas on exploration and development, so that by 2030, before 2030 or by 2030, we can have our second gas project in Berbice, online and ready to deliver opportunities for the people of Guyana and the people of this region. That is what we want. There is no shortcut. There's no shortcut to this. As Alistair always reminds me, there is no shortcut in this business, but there is the optimal path, and we have to take the optimal path. Thank you very much. Enjoy dinner. God bless all of you. Happy Republic.